Thank you. Pat Wright, Debbie Greatbanks, Jeremy Trim, Eric Mills. Mr. Wright, you have 3 minutes.
Actually, they've ceded time to me.
Excuse me?
I have been ceded time by some
Who has
people.
ceded time to you?
Debbie and Jeremy, I know. Anybody else?
So Debbie and Jeremy are not speaking then?
That is correct. They are not
Okay.
speaking.
Mr. President, how much?
Oh, wow. You've got, okay.
I'll give him 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
5 minutes. All righty. Thank you. I was here last meeting in Santa Barbara, and I made a formal presentation asking that the Commission take up ferret legalization, and we've been waiting at the mailbox patiently. I was told by John Fisher, who called me at 6 p.m. one evening, I appreciate it, that Commissioner Sutton didn't have the background information to proceed. It is a complicated subject. And President Kellogg said, when you hear from the opposition, there's enough reason to keep the status quo. So once again, we requested the December 16th meeting that the Commission start the formal process for removing the domesticated ferret from the list of prohibited wild species, just as was done for importing the wild barramundi to be sold as live game fish. We have yet to receive a response. Therefore, we are making the same request as last time, and we will continue to do so until we receive a formal response. There is no reason this domestic species should be included on a list of wild animals, and no reason the ownership of the domesticated ferret should be illegal in California. It is a needless regulation, and it needs to be changed. And I would like to ask the Commission, is there a procedure for acknowledging such requests? Is there a procedure for acknowledging such requests?
Commissioner,
Just go ahead and go on with your presentation, and we'll respond.
All right, thank you. We spent $13,000 in a year of research at Sacramento State University for an unbiased preliminary EIR report. Our CEQA consultant also did the CEQA environmental checklist. And it appeared that the Department and Commission had set up new procedures. Introduction of non-native species, it seemed almost custom-made to the ferret issue. We did a very formal request. I spent a lot of money to come here, a lot of money in copying and all that other things. We have yet to hear back. Per our consultant, they are legal everywhere else on the continent, from Nome to Mexico City, but no feral population has ever been found. They do not survive in the wild, and they are far less dangerous than cats, much less than dogs. Dogs alone, he says, kills 300 people, but I think he added an extra 0. I think they kill 30 people in the U.S. Each year. Also, no confirmed killing of a listed species by a ferret, and no transmission of rabies from human to ferret. So I want to make sure, am I making this request right? Because apparently last time I was not. Do you understand the request that we're asking you to do?
You know what? I'm going to respond because the 10 years I've been on this commission, this has got to be the 4th or 5th time you folks have come before us.
Okay, the last time was
attempting to get this legalized. And I'm going to tell you again, we are charged with the protection and preservation of our natural resources and species. And that's what we're going to do. And we don't feel that even though you have a right to your opinion, that you're right on this issue. We feel like we are.
That's not my question right now. Am I making the request in the correct manner? I'm putting a formal request. You haven't negotiated or investigated ferrets at all. I'm asking you to do so. Am I doing it correctly?
We have in the past, and there was a good enough investigation to satisfy our position.
Okay, the last request was April 6, 2000. The commissioners requested a preliminary EIR that they would not move forward unless the proponents funded the EIR. We have done so at great expense and at great time.
Look, we don't have time to keep reiterating the same thing over and over and over again. You folks have even gone to the legislature and can't even find a legislator to carry a bill for you. We're not going to waste a whole bunch of time on this issue over and over and over again.
All right.
There are too many important issues for us to deal with.
California spends $5.5 million on ferret supplies annually, 27% of the nation's total. 70% of the ferrets sold in Oregon, Nevada, and Arizona are intended for the California market. That's a loss of $600,000 in sales tax revenue on ferrets alone that you are pissing away. Ferrets banned, you are harming the people. I had a call from somebody whose relatives drove all the way from Idaho, got turned back from the California border because they couldn't come in with the ferrets. I want to ask you, what other domestic animals do you regulate?
I'm going to quit responding to you. Go ahead with your presentation.
Okay.
I interrupted for a while, so you got about 30 seconds left.
Okay, we're going to say that zebras, which were labeled as wild and vicious, there was two incidents in San Luis Obispo. The Department of Fish and Game said they are domestic and legal. You had a 6-foot monitor lizard wandering a condominium complex in Riverside County. They are native to Africa and Asia. Elmer here was returned to the owner. Which would you rather find on your front doorstep? The killer zebra, the 6-foot monitor lizard, or one of these guys? In conclusion, thank you. What is the issue? It's legalizing ferrets. Why is it important? Because these guys are part of our family. The pet-human bond is a strong one. And you're stepping on it, and you're stepping on it very arrogantly. What to do about it? Join the other 48 states and legalize these ferrets. Yeah, you're
Okay,
public servants.
Your time's up. I said 5 minutes.
Well, you had 10 minutes at the beginning of it.
Anyway, you just made our argument for us with all those other animals. That's the reason that we don't want to legalize ferret.
What is the
any
reason?
other
You have
comments
to
from the
provide the
commissioner?
answer. You need to provide. You're
Mr.
making this major
Mr. Wright,
decision, this
your-
major effort.
Your
You
time's
need
up.
to-
You can take your seat now,
Mr.
please.
Wright, your time is up.